Mr. Lalla, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are
I
you?
might have to call you the Prime Minister just now because the way how you busy and I calling on your phone. I had to call you the Prime Minister just now.
That's not a name you want to be called right now, but I good.
Mr. Lalla, I don't know if you're aware of what's happening right now. The Prime Minister had a press conference this afternoon and indicated that he's not going back up and he's going to, it's a strong possibility, but he's going to resign before, the legal time.
I did see it. I mean, it's interesting. He's hinted at it that he would go back a second term, or a third term rather. So that is one part. And then he says he's going to retire before, or resign before the term is due. So that means before the election is called. That also is interesting to see whether, I haven't seen that done before, a Prime Minister wanting to resign before his term of office has come to an end.
Do you think...
It's a political year, so Dr. Rowley is a very seasoned politician. Whether or not politicians in the past have said they're going to resign and then change their mind and say the population have begged them to stay, this is not the first time that politicians have said that. So he must have a strategy behind what he's doing. In terms
well
of
said.
What
well
his
said.
Plan. I mean, he is, like I say, very strategic. Whether they like him or don't, they have to give him credit for being a strategic.
Very bright,
thinker.
brilliant.
So whether he has somebody earmarked to become Prime Minister before the end of the election and take his party into an election mode as sitting Prime Minister, that might be one option. Another option might be he's just testing the water to see whether people want him to stay or not and make a determination last minute whether he stays on. So again, these things are a political strategy being engineered. It certainly is going to create a discussion with everybody as to what he's planning, what he's thinking. This is an election year. There's a lot of speculation. Election could be after Carnival or sometime like that. Who knows when election will take place? And again, interesting comment. If he steps down and he keeps to his word, credit to him for keeping to his word. But again, politicians are all strategists. It's left to be seen what he really plans to do.
And what about if he realizes that, I mean, just now is convention, they have a retreat tomorrow, then they're planning the convention. What about in that convention, that internal election, if they realize that, if from now we realize from the outside, from the start, that persons have lost confidence in him, and it could sway different ways and to avoid embarrassment, it's best to take front before front take me.
I don't think so. I think Dr. Rowley is probably the most popular politician in his party. There will be no challenger to him. If he wants to be political leader, there's no challenge to him. If he decides to step down, it would be his stepping down to facilitate somebody taking over as political leader, literally preparing them for the next election. But he certainly has no challenger in his party.
Do you care to mention any candidate that you think a lot of eyes might be on?
Well, I mean, the forerunners in the PNM seem to be either Stuart Young or Foster Cummins. They seem to be the two lead names that are bandied around. Yeah. There are others that are strong candidates, but they seem to be in the political arena. They're the most likely individuals. Both bring so much different things to the table. It'll be interesting to see who is selected because they're completely different candidates in terms of the demographics they serve and the people that they appeal to. But again, if somebody like Stuart Young becomes leader, it'll be very interesting. The PNM has never had a non-black leader. It'll be interesting to see how that evolves.
What do you have to say? What do you have to say that so many changes are taking place in the People's National Movement? What have you have to say about the opposition party now?
Well, the opposition party has a serious opportunity on their hands. The whole country is gripped by crime. I think the election now is going to be a very close call election. The number one issue in this country with a state of emergency and otherwise is crime, then economy. And if the opposition puts their house together and puts a strong front, they certainly are a very strong force to be reckoned with, and the population will have to decide whether they give the PNM a third term in office or whether the opposition comes up to scratch with the faces that can move the country forward. Most people, especially young people, aren't concerned about historical politics. Young people want opportunity,
True,
freedom,
true.
movement.
The
They
Gen
don't see
Zs.
race, they don't feel race. Young people want to make sure they're in a country that is moving,
Exactly.
that they don't have to migrate and run from here. So whoever creates that opportunity, opposition or government, is going to certainly capture a lot of young voters who are watching on very keenly and are attracted to things very different than the older people.
Mr. Lalla, thanks again. I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking my call. I'm hearing some rattling on the ground that you are taking up a seat, and I will vote for you after the speech today, Mr.
That
Lalla.
means I have no interest in politics.
What's that?
I don't know that. Let me not talk politics.
Let's not talk about that. Mr. Lalla, all the best. I'll call you later.
Take care.
I will link. Bye-bye. Well, Mr. Lalla is my partner. This can have given him some peacock. But nevertheless, again, and he said it right. He said it right. You know, I mean, Dr. Rowley is a seasoned politician. He's seasoned. He's seasoned. I said seasoned. Over 45 years in public life. Seasoned. 33 years as an MP. He's seasoned from 1991. He has been an MP for San Fernando, for Diego Martin West. He's seasoned. So you don't know. It's very unpredictable. It's very. Let me tell you something. As my good friend Errol will always tell me, let me tell you something. In war, you die once. In politics, you die 100 times. It's very unpredictable. People could come back. You'll be surprised to know. In war, you die once. There's no life after. When you die in war, that's it, you're dead. In politics, you die 100 times.